probably noticed the sudden change in the UI here. That would be because I've switched over to the Switch version, because it's finally out. I've gotten myself caught up to where I was before, and this time I know where I'm going. Okay. Miss Delight, you must know, right? About your husband in Mask to Mask. Mask to Mask? Of course, I know all about it. And my husband is his biggest fan. Yep. What? Huh? Biggest fan? Yes, and Ronnie can be pretty delusional sometimes. That's how this whole misunderstanding happened. Wait a minute, did you say delusional? Yes, that's right. I just don't know what I'm going to do with him. You see, Ronnie actually believes that he is Mask to Mask. What? What are you talking about? Yes, what are you talking about, Desiree? So, when did Ron first become Mask to Mask? What are you talking about? He's not Mask to Mask. Huh? But, wait a second. Look around at this room. This place is obviously Mask to Mask's hideout. Oh no, you're totally wrong. A real thief's hideout wouldn't look like this. It's because Ronnie is so timid himself that he looks up to heroic figures. Heroic figures? But Mask to Mask is a bad guy. Hey, thieves can be, good guys. So he's deluded, huh? Could that really be true? Anyway, if he really had stolen the urn, wouldn't he still have it? Oh, well, I suppose so. Then why don't you ask him if he has the urn or not? She has a point. Mr. Delight isn't exactly the criminal type. But something about Ron's behavior bothers me. Maybe it's true. Maybe Mr. Delight isn't Mask to Mask after all. Say, can I ask you something, Nicky boy? Oh, what is it? I know I may seem like a bad girl on the outside, but the one thing I won't stand for is illegal activity. I had the feeling you wouldn't. You're tough, but I can tell you've got a good heart. Somebody framed my poor Ronnie. I just know it. Could you give this to Ronnie for me? A letter? Yes, for Ronnie. I want him to fight back. Miss Delight. Okay, you've got it. Just relax and leave it all to us. Added to the court record. Okay then, let's go. Wife told us to give this to you. Oh, that's right. Here, this is from your wife. Don't mind me constantly readjusting my mic over here. Trying to find the sweet spot. Oh, from Desi? Thank you. Letter given to Mask. Actually, more like taken. My dear Ronnie, how are you? I'm doing fine. He's clutching onto that letter so hard the ink is going to be squeezed out. He looks so happy. You should write a letter to Mystic Maya too, Mr. Nick. Mr. Lawyer? Yes? In the letter that Desi wrote, she said, ask this guy to be your lawyer. Huh? I know this would be asking a lot, but could you please take my case? My trial starts tomorrow. Hey, hang on a second. He can't be your lawyer. Why not? What do you mean, why not? We're the victims in this case, right? Victims of this Damask guy. Well, yeah, but according to Desiree, he didn't do it. She said, poor man, he's deluded himself into thinking he did it, right, Mr. Nick? Come on, she could be lying to protect her husband. Well, that's true. No, actually not. Actually, it's hard to say. Oh no, it's spreading. Oh, please, I'll give you the treasure of your choice in return. What should I do? No, we'll take his case. Well, Mr. Delight, I've decided to give it a try. I'll defend you. Really? You will? Hey, what are you doing, Nick? He's a thief. You can't trust him. Well, he may be a thief. But I think there's more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Nick, I was wrong about you. I shouldn't have trusted you. Pearls? I can't believe you'd defend this person after what he did to Mystic Maya. I'll never forgive you ever. Pearly, wait. This is gonna be ugly. I'll go after her. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. Well, you couldn't have known she'd react like that. I guess I might as well start investigating. Oh, Maya, where's Pearls? She said she's going back to the office. Go check in on her later, would you? And what about you? Are you okay with me taking Mr. Delight's case? Yeah, I'm fine, Nick. I believe in you. I think I'm gonna cry. I know you have a lot of work to do. I really appreciate it. Okay, Nick, let's get this show on the road. Well then. Mr. Nick, welcome back. Oh, hey, Pearls. You're back too, I see. I went and bought us a strawberry cake. I'll go make some tea to go with it. Hey, Pearls? It looks like she feels really bad about what happened at the detention center. Mystic Maya, the tea is ready. Oh, thanks. Come on, Mr. Nick. Please have some of this cake. Yeah, thanks. Pearls? Oh, excuse me. I was in the middle of cleaning the toilet. Hey, it's okay. I just cleaned it this morning. Too late. This might be a good time for me to ask about her. I first met Pearls a year ago. It was when that murder happened at Karayan Village. I still remember what she said to me when we first met. You're Mr. Nick, right? You're Mystic Maya's special someone. Hey, Maya, I've always thought it was because she was young, but what? Pearls, I think she's got the wrong idea. About you and me. Huh? There's something you need to understand. What is it? It's kind of like a Karayan Village custom, sort of. Pearl seems to love you a lot. Well, it's because I'm her only cousin, and, well, because of the murder case last year. Because the murder case last year, Pearlie's mother is, oh yeah. I remember now, Pearls' mother, Morgan Fay. She's serving a prison term in isolation right now. And she'll never become relevant again, I take it. So you see, I'm the only family Pearlie has right now. But it's the same for me, too. Maya. My mother's gone too. There are hardly any men in Karayan Village. Now that you mention it, I never actually saw any men there when I visited. I'm pretty sure I told you about it a long time ago, about how spiritual powers run very strong in the Fae family. Yeah, you did, and that's why you're undergoing training to be a spirit medium, right? Yeah, the thing is, only women can actually inherit the spiritual power. And that's why the whole culture of Orion Village kind of revolves around its women. Well, that's understandable, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but because of that, there tends to be a lot of unsuccessful marriages. Oh? Well, men just start to feel left out after a while, and then they just start leaving. Especially if the man has a daughter. Are you saying that Pearl's father... He's gone. He left the village when she was very young. I mean, she's still pretty young. Like, she's only 9. Boy, that's tough. Yeah, and she grew up seeing nothing but unhappy marriages all around her. And that's why she's so sensitive to things like that. Poor kid. So your mother's still missing? Yeah, and no one has any idea where she is. Maya's mother, Misty Faye. The current master of the Karayan channeling technique. She disappeared 17 years ago after getting involved in a certain police case. But you're sure she's still alive, right? Yeah, I know she is. It's sort of a spirit medium thing. And if your mother doesn't come back, then what? Then, according to the laws of the village, I'll become the next master. Mystic Maya, the master of the Karayan technique. Sounds like a heavy responsibility. Yeah, but there's no one else with the blood of the Fae main family who's a spirit medium. Well, Nick, why don't we go out and start investigating? We're not going to learn anything just sitting around the office. Yeah, I know, but first I want to talk to Pearls. Mr. Nick? Yeah? I acted like a baby. Pearls. Yeah, oops. Sorry. I doubted you, even though Mystic Maya trusted you completely. I guess I still have a lot of training to do. Mr. Nick! Yes? From the bottom of my heart, I apologize for what I said. Oh, it's okay. I'm the one that should be apologizing. Well, I'm going out now for a little bit. Huh? Where are you going? I may be small, but I still have a lot of spirit channeling power. So I'm going to show you I can be useful too, by finding some evidence. Hey, wait a... Ack. She sure runs fast. Nick, let's back off and give her some room, okay? Yeah. Well then. Yes, in this file I did not actually go here. So... let's see. This is a detective agency? Looks more like the set of some B-grade horror movie. Hello? Is anyone here? Looks like nobody's home. What a waste of time. Hey, I know. Let's take that framed picture back with us as a memento. Don't you dare, Maya. Guess we'll have to try back later. Hey, Nick, what's this thing here? It's called a gramophone. Actually, I've already seen all of this, so... just for the sake of, clearing everything. Being able to just go around like this is handy. Go around to be able to see, oh, I already looked at that. And Neon agrees that it's a nice feature, isn't it? Ah, here we go. Lordly Taylor. Maya! Oh, Miss Andrews. I'm so sorry, it's my fault. Your precious urn. Your precious urn. Please, calm down. What's wrong? It never ends. Everything I touch ends in failure. Maya, I'm sorry. I'll do anything to make it up to you. No, it's okay. I know I don't look it, but I'm good with my hands. I can make you another urn. Hold on, just wait, okay? Breathe, calm down and talk to us. Forgive me. So when did you get the calling card from Mask to Mask? Let's see, exactly 10 days ago. I was going to show it to the police, but that detective stopped me. So you asked Detective Atney to help with security? Yes, in fact it was about 20 days ago that I hired him. He seemed to know much more about Mask to Mask than the police. So you hired him for security even before the calling card arrived. Well, yes, I had a premonition that something bad might happen. I've learned to trust my hunches. So that's why there are security cameras even in the basement warehouse. Yes, Lordly Taylor is very serious about their security measures. It was their way of saying, bring it on to any potential thieves. Well, he sure brought it last night. He even left with a nice souvenir. Can you tell us a bit about the security for the treasure exhibit? It was all my fault. I never should have called this paltry little collection a treasure exhibit anyway. Why do you say that? The urn that was stolen is a pretty important object. Maybe, but its actual value after appraisal was, well, practically zero. Zero? I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. But that urn contains the soul of Mystic Omni. Anyway, I left all these security arrangements to Detective Atney. But 5 days ago, I began receiving all sorts of other exhibit items from Karayan. Lots of people started going in and out of the warehouse down there. So maybe one of them was actually Mask to Mask in disguise. No, I personally checked out everyone that came through here, so that's not possible. Knowing Adrian, she probably even checked out what they ate for breakfast that morning. Profiles, too. Back here. Ah, something new here. Hello? Well, how lovely it is to see you again, my dear. Welcome to my abode. Relax and soak up the atmosphere. We're actually kind of... Shh! Silence! Precisely as I expected. What is? Safari! The truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. A lawyer and a spirit medium, am I correct? I think we've already been through this. Ha! So my estimation is correct. Safari! How truly elegant. Now then, what can I do for you? You mentioned before that you were on guard duty all alone last night. Precisely! This is my 5th encounter with my arch enemy. I refuse to allow anyone to interfere with the rightful pursuit of my prey. I heard you've been after Mask to Mask since his very first theft. Yes, my dear, I see you've done your homework. In his very first heist, that vile thief pilfered the famous jewel, the Tear of Emanon. I first encountered him in the museum's Sacred Hall, the crime scene itself. So that's why you were hired as security for the treasure exhibit? I'm pretty sure he said that Adrian Andrews hired him. Yes, I borrowed some equipment from Lordly Taylor and set the perfect trap. You must mean the security camera. But I thought you were watching the area yourself, too. So how did Mask to Mask manage to steal the urn? That's the million-dollar question. What is Damask's modus operandi? Mr. Atney, did you know about the sacred urn? I'm interested in only one thing, my dear, and that is Mask to Mask. Sacred urn? Poof. That has nothing to do with this case. But wasn't that what Mask to Mask stole this time? I am a hunter, sir. The urn was nothing more than a lure to catch my prey. Do you yourselves remember the shape of the individual peanuts you throw to pigeons? I don't think I like this guy's attitude, Nick. Well, anyway, it looks like he doesn't know about the urn. There's something that's kind of bothering me. Please, my dear, ask me anything you like. After all, we are all but seekers wandering alone in the dark. Well, I was wondering how Mask to Mask managed to steal the urn. I mean, isn't it strange that you don't seem to know? Yeah, now that you mention it, it is strange. After all, you were on guard that night at the scene of the crime. Unless you were sound asleep, you should have at least seen Mask to Mask. What the? It's a Cyclock. Cyclock? Hey, Nick, what is this Cyclock thing? Well, your Magatama lets me see when people are keeping secrets. By breaking their mental locks, I can find out what those secrets are. What? This Magatama has that kind of power? Maya, you're the one who gave me this Magatama last year. Well, it's true that this Magatama is a prized Fae family heirloom, but Pearly was the one that actually imbued it with spiritual powers, right? That's why I don't really know much about what it can do. This is the woman that's going to take over the Karayan channeling school someday. So, how do you do it? How do you break this Cyclock thing? Well, you present the Magatama to the person with the secret. Cool, I can't wait to see it in action. Come on, try it out. Oh boy, I think the future master still needs to learn how to be patient.
Take that!
Detective Atney, you were standing guard at the scene of the crime. There's no way you didn't see Mask to Mask commit the crime. Well, now, I can hardly see why you're so positive about that. Yes, indeed, I was guarding the warehouse, that much is true. But I can tell you for certain that not a single person passed through that door. I'm not sure why, but this Atney guy is lying through his teeth. I know, I'll show him some proof. Detective Atney, I have here proof that someone went through that door last night.
Take that!
There was a security camera set up at the scene of the crime. It should have automatically taken a photo of anyone that went through that door. Precisely. I hope you don't mind, but we've already gotten our hands on the camera data. As you can see, the camera went off exactly once last night. What? But my monocle didn't catch anyone in its flash. It must have been some kind of computer malfunction. It must be. Maybe it was your monocle that malfunctioned. What? Are you saying that I didn't do my duty properly? Detective Atney, you must have seen the thief last night. The question is, why are you trying to hide it? If he's hiding it, there must be some reason. Some reason that he desperately wants to keep hidden. And I've got just the piece of evidence that should prove it. Okay, let's suppose you didn't manage to see mask to mask. In that case, the reason you didn't at that time was because you were unconscious. I'm afraid that making a guess is not enough. Time to put your money where your mouth is. Show me your evidence.
Take that!
Detective Atme, you were knocked unconscious by the thief, weren't you? Ahahaha, surely you must be joking. You think that I, Luke Atme, could be knocked unconscious so easily? This sword proves it. That's... Before the theft, this sword was in the hand of the statue of Ami Faye. Furthermore, at that time, it was not bent. There's only one explanation. You were struck on the head and knocked unconscious by this sword. Well, detective, how about it? I'm impressed. You truly are an ace attorney. He's even got sweat dripping from his nose. I can't deny that there may be a small hint of truth in what you say. So, you were knocked out when the thief first clobbered you. Clobber, what an ugly way of saying it, but I suppose you could put it that way. The coward struck at the precise moment that I turned to look at the computer. So you never noticed that the thief had entered the warehouse? No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. Perhaps the air ducts or the sewer pipes. Then my arch nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here. Ouch, Mr. Atme should have his poor head examined. You can say that again. How could he have underestimated the thief that badly? Shichishito updated in the court record. Oh, looks like we got one thing cleared up anyway. Huh? What? That Atme is the greatest ace detective in the world? No, that he never actually saw the thief. Oh, that's right. So the thief may not even be mask to mask. Just one moment, Sir Lawyer. The thief was unquestionably mask to mask. But you never actually saw him. Perhaps so, but I installed a security camera for just such a contingency. Oh. Last night, the camera went off exactly once. Behold, this is a photo of that dastardly thief taken by the security camera. That's him. Mask to mask. The thief can be none other than the arch-criminal Mask to Mask. After all, he has a very good reason for committing such brazen crimes. What are you talking about? So, what did you mean by he had a very good reason? Exactly that. Mr. Delight had a very good reason to dress up and commit those crimes. There should be a green envelope somewhere in his room. You'll need to go and investigate. But how would you know about that? Have you forgotten? You're speaking to the finest ace detective ever to walk on the face of the earth. The most brilliant mind since, well, ever. Luke Atme. Well, I guess we'd better go take a look just in case. To the hideout, then. That looks familiar. Hey, Nick, remember what Detective Atme said? A green envelope, huh? Looks like this is it. Okay, let's have a look. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring $50,000. $50,000? This is a blackmail letter. Sure looks like a major clue, all right. Oh, someone's at the door. I'll be right back. It won't take but a second, I promise. thank you for coming. That's so nice of you. When I see a damsel in distress, I just can't help myself. Please, come on in. I'll make some coffee. Really? Okay, I guess I'll make myself at home, pretty lady. Wait a minute, I know that voice. Oh, Nicky boy, I'm so sorry, but I've got another guest. Ah! You're... Nick, it's you and Maya, too. What a fluke. Ah, Larry! Long time no see. What, you know each other? Nicky boy? Nick, do you and this girl have, you know, something going on? No. Something? If you mean what I think, I underestimated you, Nick. A gorgeous lady like this? And married, too? Way to go, dude. Dude, no. I know, just when things can't get any worse, it's time to cue in the butts. Larry Butts. Ever since grade school, he's been not exactly a close friend, but yeah, we know each other. Hey man, that wasn't nice. That was your very first client. We've got quite the storied history, he and I. And what we used to say still rings true. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Hey, come on now, you're embarrassing me. And in front of this pretty little thing here. So you two are old childhood friends, I see. That's so sweet. You two go ahead and catch up on old times. I'm going to go check on my bike. Nice girl, that Desi. So how you been, Nick? Too busy if you really want to know. So what have you been up to this whole time? It's been 2 years since I heard from you. And what's with those clothes? You look, well, weird. Hey man, that's uncalled for. This is my uniform from my part-time job. Neon says, don't leave us here with him. Yes, please don't leave us alone with this guy. But I can't believe it's been 2 years. They say time flies when you're having fun. What's wrong? Nick, I gotta tell you. Women, I don't trust them anymore. You got dumped again? Well, you know Bennifer? I followed her all the way to Japan 2 years ago. That's where I met the famous Caddy Tom, and my whole life changed. Bennifer? Caddy Tom? I never heard of either of them. Anyway, dude, Caddy Tom chose Hollywood over me. Can you believe it? Oh. Your story is so engrossing. I took a moment to look at the court record. Well, actually, anyway, sounds like you had quite the adventure. Women, they're so. Oh, but you're different, Maya. You're not like the rest. Larry, just stop talking. Looks like he's still the same old Larry. So, what are you doing here anyway? Huh? What do you mean by that? I'm just a natural-born nice guy, that's all. Well, actually, I picked this up last night while I was working. A wallet? You say you found this last night? Yeah, it had a driver's license in it, so I figured I'd just return it myself. Ron's wallet added to the court record. Hang on, let me see that for a minute. I knew it. Desi's picture is in here. Yeah, I guess he really digs his wife, huh? Hey, Nick, it's not what you're thinking at all. No, I'm pretty sure it is. You haven't changed a bit. Oh, no way, man. I mean, she's a married woman. That's just bad news. He really is here just to check out Miss Delight. So, you said you found it at your job, right? Yeah, I'm working for a private security company as a guard. Chicks just love a guy in uniform, you know? I don't love you in uniform. A security guard, huh? So that's what that uniform is all about. So what time was it when you found this last night? Huh? Why are you asking that? Trying to see if I've got an alibi? You're not the one on the hook for a crime this time, buddy. I guess it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. What's Mr. Delight's wallet doing there? Anyway, there's nothing weird about that. After all, he works there. works there? You mean Mr. Delight? Sure, here, take a look at this. It's right there in his wallet. What's this card? It's a key card for the security company. See, it's got a serial number on it right there. There's no mistake about it. You said you're working part-time at a security company, right? That's right. Why are you making that scary face? Security company, huh? Something's not quite secure about Larry working there. I need to find out as much as I can about this key card. So you're sure about this key card? Yep, that's the key card we use in the building I work in. According to the serial number, this one is for the CEO's office. You need it to get into that room, and every time you use that card, it leaves a record. It leaves a record? Yeah, it tells you exactly who entered the room and when. Larry, I need that data. Whoa, slow down, man. Sorry, but that data is off limits to outsiders. If I lost this job, I'd never have a chance with Desi. It's times like these when I wish lawyers weren't so powerless. You didn't touch anything in the wallet, did you? Hey, man, be serious. You know what I was interested in? If Mask to Mask doesn't look out, he's gonna be the victim of a robbery himself. I don't think he has much of a chance with her, to be perfectly honest. Less about mystic mumbo jumbo stuff. Of course, Maya is a different story. Talk about your mixed messages. This is one of the treasures from Wright Village. Be serious, Nick. Letter. Do you know anything about this? What? I don't know anything about Alexis, and that's the truth. Huh? What? I can't believe you'd do this to me. I thought you were my friend. $50,000. I don't have that kind of money. No, you don't understand. This blackmail letter is sent to Ron Delight. Whew, man, you scare me. I almost had a heart attack, you idiot. Wait, I'm the idiot? Man, I was totally confused because it says KB Security right on the envelope. Yeah, so what? That's where I've got a part-time job at KB Security. What? Sounds like I should really find out some more about this KB Security company. Aha. There we go, that's what I want. KB Security, the company in the blackmail letter, you know about it? That's where I work, yeah. In fact, I'm on the job right now. Huh? So what are you doing here, then? Well, the boss is away right now, and you know what mice do when the cat's away. Yes. Anyway, how far away is this company? Let me see, about 30 minutes by car, I guess. Well, if you fly down the road, anyway. Well, this apartment building is pretty close to Lordly Taylor, right? And it would take roughly an hour to go from here to KB Security and back. If Ron Delight was at KB Security when the robbery occurred, then... Whoa! Then he couldn't have stolen the sacred urn. Hey, Nick, your phone. Hello? Is this the Wright residence? Ah, Pearls, where are you? I thought I'd go to Lordly Taylor to find some more clues, but I'm afraid I've gotten lost. What? Give me that phone, Nick. Pearly, where are you right now? I was walking along and I found myself in front of that person's office. That person? Who? That person who doesn't act his age and always says Zavari when he's excited. Look at me, ace detective. Okay, stay right there. We're coming to get you. Alright, I'm a little scared. Oh, poor Pearly. Alright, let's go, Maya. Wait a second, Nick. What? That phone call just now sounded like a real cute... She's 9! Another one of your, special friends? She's 9, Larry. Say goodbye to Miss Delight for me, would you, Larry? Mr. Nick, Mr. Maya. Pearly! I never thought I'd see the two of you again. Oh, poor little baby. So, was Mr. Ace Detective out of the office? Yeah, when I arrived here, there wasn't a single soul in sight. Say, Nick, doesn't it look like something's changed since we were here last? Now that you mention it. This wasn't here before. This bag, I'm sure it wasn't here before. It looks quite full. I wonder what could be in here. Hey, Nick, come on, open it up. Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is an important investigation. That's true, and truth be told, I have to admit I am kind of curious. Well, what's in there? Hang on a sec, I'm taking it out now. Neon is urging us to open it as well. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth. Well, hello there. Eek! He's here! What are you doing, Sir Lawyer? Nothing. I'm shocked to see a servant of the court ignoring the law so flagrantly. Flagrantly and fragrantly. I'm really sorry. Maya made me do it. Nick, I can't believe you. A gentleman never uses a lady as an excuse for his own poor behavior. The real question is, can you afford to waste time lollygagging about here? What do you mean by that? Perhaps I should make myself more clear. Tomorrow's trial. Safari! Shall we say the figurative Sir William will be dropping his panties before lunchtime? What? Wow, Nick, sounds like it's gonna be really exciting. What's going to happen at the trial tomorrow that's so dramatic? Do you know what your biggest mistake so far has been, Sir Lawyer? It was becoming a lawyer in the first place. That certainly does sound like a big mistake, Mr. Nick. Hey. Tomorrow will be a day to remember. I, Luke Atme, will take the stand. And then, Savari, my testimony will prove to be the undoing of a lot of you. Yes, all of you. I will unmask you as the thief's co-conspirators. Conspirators? Real quick on the defensive, I see. However, it is not I that is your greatest enemy. There is a far more dangerous threat that you will face during the trial. What are you talking about? Sir Lawyer, if you truly are who you say, I'm sure you've heard of him. His name is Godot. Godot? You have taken a step down the path of foolishness. To try to defend a career criminal who deserves nothing less than the death penalty. Hey, last time I checked, no one knows for sure that Mr. Delight really is Damask. My dear lady, times may change, but people sadly do not. Well, you will understand this when you are more mature. Who is this Godot person? It's not surprising that a spirit medium has not heard the name. Godot, the prosecutor whose equal cannot be found in this country but in heaven. Godot, a legend or a myth, men pin a lifetime of hopes on the chance to simply meet him. Prosecutor Godot? But the best prosecutor in the country isn't Godot, it's Mr. Edgeworth. Isn't that right, Nick? It's no surprise that a spirit medium such as yourself would know nothing of this. But Ace Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth is currently traveling abroad. Huh? In fact, it was Mr. Edgeworth who acknowledged Godot as the best in this country. And you agree with that? Most certainly. In fact, you could call him the Luke Atme of the prosecutor's office. Well, that's good to hear. The prosecution has a fighting chance tomorrow. Thank you, Maya. Mr. Nick, is this Godot really that strong? I seem to remember hearing about someone like that. Not surprising. Some people spend their entire lives idly waiting for his appearance. Looks like we're done investigating for the day. Sir Lawyer. The stage has been set and all the pieces are finally in place. All that remains now is for the dance to begin. A new prosecutor, an ace detective, and a thief. This will be one tough trial. To be continued. Hey, Nick. What is it? Is something wrong? Nah, but did you see all the people here? It's crazy. Oh, so check out the Mask to Mask glossy I bought. You bought this where? From the little tents in front of the courthouse. They have all sorts of things for sale. You know I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. Come on, I'm guilty. Throw the book at me. Who's screaming like that? Oh, Mr. Wright, you made it. Yeah, I did, but it doesn't look like things are going to get any less ugly for you. Because I did it. I'm the criminal. Me. Ugh, he's at it again. I sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor. I admit it. But you don't have the sacred urn, right? Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean that I didn't commit the crime. Normally when I say, of course you didn't, I'm being sarcastic, but you... Yikes. Anyway, I admit that I'm guilty, so make sure they give me a guilty verdict, please. Oh, there you are, Ronnie. Bonjour, sweetie. Oh, Desi, honey. Bonjour. Well, actually, I don't really know why I should be speaking French to you at a time like this. Leave it all to me, Ronnie. I swear I'll protect you. You see, actually, the thief is me. Can I tell you something, Nicky boy? I can guarantee that my Ronnie is innocent. If he's declared guilty, I'll be ever so cross with you. So why are you smiling when you say it? Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got some errands I need to take care of. I'm counting on you, Nicky boy. Good luck. To be honest, I really don't know whether Ron is masked or not. But there's only one thing I am sure of. He doesn't have the sacred urn right now. Mr. Delight, it's time for you to enter the courtroom. For the time being, I guess I'll have to trust Desiree. Who's that handsome fellow over there? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. What about the prosecution? Are you prepared to... What a stupid question. What did you say? Fine. Let me ask you then, Your Honor, are you ready? Are you ready to pass judgment? Well, no, I'm not. I will... Legendary prosecutor. I've never lost a case. Ah, he's that detective Atney was talking about. Yes, your reputation precedes you. What kind of cases have you dealt with so far? None. What did you say? I've never prosecuted a case before. Never? But you said you've never lost before. Exactly. I've never lost. I've never won before either. Quite arrogant for a beginner, aren't you? Even the mightiest of redwoods begin their lives as mere saplings. Yes, but a mask in a court of law? Ha! Don't you know anything? No matter the man, we all wear masks, either on our faces or over our hearts. Are we... All the Persona parallels that keep accidentally cropping up here. Jeez. This guy's the real deal, alright, Nick. Why does it seem like all prosecutors are the real deal? So we finally meet Mr. Phoenix Wright. Huh? Nick, is he a friend of yours? No, I don't have any friends that call me Trite. Just who is this masked man? I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. Well then, Prosecutor Gobo? It's not Gobo, it's Godot, Your Honor. In any case, please give your opening statement. Opening statement? Those things are not fit for even dogs to consume. I have only one thing to say before we start. To you, Mr. Trite? What is it? I give you a boot to the head. Are you familiar with the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link? I wonder how much you can withstand before you and your case break in two. Well then, let's hear from the first witness. My name is... No one has asked for your name, witness. Irk. The important thing is what you know, that's all. Start talking. We're listening. Yes, sir. Alright, witness, first let's hear about what you know about the thief that stole the urn. Yes, sir. Master Mask is a master thief that's first started his crime spree 6 months ago. He's so confident that he sends his calling cards before he even commits the crime. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card on to Lordly Taylor. His pattern is to always go after only the most precious art pieces. And that's why we're sure it was Master Mask, sir, if it fits his MO to a T. So then the actual identity of this Mask to Mask is... Mr. Godot, what are you... We're in the middle of a trial here, Mr. Godot. Blacker than a moonless night, hotter and more bitter than hell itself. That is coffee. What kind of coffee are you drinking? I'm sure you can grant me at least this much, Your Honor. Oh, please, proceed. Very well, it's only coffee after all. What? You can't be letting him slide this early in the trial. Proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Well, Nick, what are you gonna do? As long as they haven't brought up Mr. Delight's identity, all we can do is show that it wasn't Mask to Mask who stole the urn. Masked Mask is a master thief that's first started his crime spree 6 months ago. So he's been doing like a one heist per month, more or less. Have you been involved in the investigation from the beginning? Yep, nobody knows more about the thief than me, pal. It's true, I'm a Zavari, author on thieves. An author? He's written books about thieves? I think he probably meant to say authority. The fact that this guy can slip through even my fingers shows how good he is, pal. It's easy when those fingers happen to be butterfingers. So nobody knows more about the thief than you, huh? You got it, pal, except maybe for the thief's mom, that is, and his wife. Isn't there someone who knows even more about him than the police? You don't mean Detective Zavari, do you? Is this person Zavari? He sounds German. His name is Luke Atney, sir. I guess I shouldn't have made up such a silly name for him. What the heck? I guess he's not all that famous after all. Anyway, it's true that he did manage to retrieve the last item the thief stole. Oh, I see. It seems you're not the expert you claim to be. Irk. It looks like the thief is toying with me even now.
Hold it!
Have you seen all of these so-called calling cards? Of course I have, except the person in charge of the treasure exhibit never brought their card to the police. So I didn't see this one until after the crime occurred. That's because Detective Atney stopped Miss Andrews from taking it to the police. Was the calling card that Lord Lee Taylor received authentic? Well, all the cards have one common identifying feature, but we're not releasing that information to the general public. But you're absolutely certain that this card is real. Gumshoe can't say it out loud, but I bet he's talking about Mask to Mask's emblem.
Hold it!
His 5th heist, and your 5th screw-up, huh? Objection, pal! That ain't fair. Maybe you could say I screwed up 4 times. But this last time wasn't my fault. I didn't know about the calling card. This time. You of all people shouldn't be chuckling about this, Detective Gumshoe. I just want everyone here in the courtroom to know something. If you ever get a calling card from this guy, don't call some stupid private eye. Call your local police right away, got me? Wow, looks like he's really got it in for Detective Atney. Art pieces? Like what, for example? Well, his first target was the famous Tear of Emanon. What's that, some kind of especially salty teardrop? No, sir, it's a blue diamond, a single rare diamond. Next was the Crown of Bangora, you know, the thing you put in your head. After that was the left hand of Hades, and then the portrait of Megina, sir. Detective Atney retrieved the portrait of Megina and returned it to the museum. And the target of his 5th and last robbery was the Sacred Urn, right? But isn't it difficult for him to dispose of such famous art pieces? Well, we assume he must have some underworld connections. Somehow Mr. Delight doesn't look the type. Yeah, he's a little too sunny to be hanging out in the underworld. What do you mean when you say it fits his MO to a T? I was thinking of asking the same thing myself. Ugh, I wish you would listen a little more closely, pal. First of all, there's the calling card. We're 100% certain it's authentic. Then there's the fact that he seemed to know all about the security system. And finally, his target was an art piece. These are all part of the thief's modus operandi. And so, since this robbery seems to fit all those conditions, that's right, it means that Mask to Mask is behind it. Yeah, it definitely looks like it was Mask to Mask who stole the urn. There's no real evidence either way as to whether Ron Delight is Mask to Mask. But... Also, the urn hasn't turned up yet, let alone in connection to Mr. Delight himself. So even though we know it was Mask to Mask that did it, maybe for the time being I should try to show it wasn't Mask to Mask that did it. little something, Detective Gumshoe? Just hearing the little in that question is making me nervous. You said that he always goes after the most precious art pieces, right? That's right, pal. But there's one problem. That's not what he did in this case. The supposedly priceless urn doesn't exactly rise to the level of precious art. What do you mean? Nick, how can you say such a terrible thing? No, I meant from a financial point of view. I mean, it wouldn't fetch a good price. Well, Prosecutor Godot, what is the value of that urn? The appraisers I spoke to said they couldn't attach a price to it, and I mean that in the worst sense. So in other words, it was not the kind of item that Master Mask would normally go after. Irk. If I understand you correctly, Mr. Wright, you're saying that the theft of the sacred urn was not the work of Master Mask. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Actually, all I did was point out the contradiction. The argument made itself, but... Well, first of all, we need to get this issue cleared up. Was this last robbery the work of Master Mask or not? What do you have to say about this, Mr. Godot? This coffee here, it's my own special blend. I'll call it Godot number 107. I'm trying to decide whether to cut down on the acidity or the bitterness. That's the only thing I've got on my mind right now, Mr. Trite. What? If you're really a man, you should clean up your own mess. Sorry, but I don't get what you mean. If you're saying it wasn't Master Mask that stole the urn, then it must be someone imitating Master Mask's methods. A fake. A fake Damask? Fake Damask? That sounds so ridiculous. But I like it. Who the hell keeps sliding you the coffee cups? Now, before I decide on my coffee, I believe some proof is in order, Mr. Trite. Proof that the person who appeared at Worley Taylor that night was actually a fake. Though I don't approve of Mr. Godot's behavior, his point is valid. Mr. Wright, we're waiting. Looks like you're going to have to prove it. Any proof that the person at Worley Taylor that night was in fact fake Damask? Neon says the bailiff's the one who's probably throwing him the coffee. They double as a barista. Yeah, that seems about the most logical possible explanation of anything.
Take that!
Proof is right here. This looks like a photo taken by a security camera. But if you look closely, you'll notice something peculiar about it. Okay. Yes, good. Ha. Well then, why don't you go ahead and show us what it is? Go on, use this pointer and show us just what about this picture is so peculiar.
Take that!
It's right here, of course. You mean Master Mask? I have here a piece of reference I would like the court to take a look at. Isn't that the publicity photo I bought this morning? The problem I have with the security camera photo is the brooch on Damask's chest. A breach? Here? Bailiff, get my steed! We need to retreat at once! A brooch, Your Honor. It's a sort of clasp for holding one's cape on. A clasp, eh? Ah, I see now. But the mask in the security camera photo. Ah, he has no brooch. That brooch is the same as the emblem on Mask's calling card and serves as his symbol. But the thief that broke into Lordly Taylor wasn't wearing a brooch. In other words, this mask is a fake. I've been fooled again. Poor Gumshoe. Order, it's true, undeniably true. Detective Gumshoe, how could you have overlooked this? I'm sorry, sir, I don't know how I... Bailiff, why do you keep passing him all these cups of coffee? How many cups of coffee has this guy gone through so far? Hey now, if you're gonna have a pity party, invite me too. Mr. Godot, you deserve some blame in this too. How could you have overlooked such a large brooch? Ha, the brooch you're talking about. Do you mean this? Ah! That's Mask's brooch. Where did you find it? Well, I've always had a good nose for evidence. I got it at the crime scene. It was hid in the shadow of a big female Buddha statue. Buddha statue? You must mean the Omni-Fae statue. Why didn't you tell me about that, sir? I always put evidence away in my pocket. After all, it's the safest place for crucial evidence. Grr, this guy is one cool customer. How did you finish that cup of coffee already? It's a little early to be shaken up, isn't it, little lady? That friend of yours left pretty little hickeys on there, too. Hickeys? Figuratively speaking, of course. I'm referring to Ron Delette's fingerprints. Why did you call them hickeys? What? What? The defendant's fingerprints are on the brooch. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, let's see that brooch. I've grown attached to my metallic girlfriend here. Take good care of her. It's a brooch! It appears to have been torn off some clothing. There's a little bit of cloth left on the back. Obviously, there must have been a struggle that night at the crime scene. Uh-oh. Phoenix, we have a problem. And Neon says Godot should please stop. Ha, you mess with Godot, you get burned. Grr, he's been playing me like a violin. Well, Judge, I'm about ready to call my next witness. Huh? You're done with me? But I haven't proved anything yet. You've proven your own incompetence, that's good enough. That doesn't sound good at all. Bailiff, bring the next witness into the courtroom. Finally, time for the ace detective to make his appearance, huh? One second is one drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry it up. Shh! Silence! Now I see, it's all becoming clear. Neon says, rude? Yeah, seriously. What's clear? Zavari! The truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor. A coffee maniac at that. That doesn't really take much powers of deduction, dude. Am I correct? Well, yes, that's right. Ha, not bad. Not bad at all. He doesn't need to do much deducing to figure that out. He just needs to pay attention for like 5 minutes. You're the first person that's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil. You have a coffee cup in your hand, my dude. Yep. Nope. Yep. What insight? Where would we be without him, Neon says. Seriously. Well, Sir Prosecutor, let me introduce myself. My name is Look At Me, ace detective and rising star illuminating the heavens. Boy, these two make a perfect pair. They'd either be best friends or they'd tear each other's heads off. I've heard that on the night of the crime, you were all alone in security detail. You have heard correctly. My specially made monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. If Detective Gumshoe is worth anything, that is. Why was this guy all by himself, anyway? There must be some reason, I'm sure of it. Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Masked Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal. My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural. I fail to see why the witness seems so proud of his performance that evening. Well, Sir Old-Timer, let me explain. We are not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great Masked Mask, my arch-enemy. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me. I will proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. All right, then. So that'll be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deduction, Sir Lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that they've never spotted the thief at the crime scenes before. Precisely! That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure on your pigeony head, that is. In any case...
Hold it!
Dancingly descended. Dancingly descended? From where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes. I hereby dub you Ace Dunce.
Hold it!
You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened. Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask, that's all I can recall. That's not very solid as far as testimony goes. However, fortunately I had my third monocle, the security camera, at the ready. It captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe. Well, as long as this photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have a problem with the photo? Good. Then let's continue with the testimony.
Hold it!
Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing? That's certainly some very impressive detective work. Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head? Huh? Well, actually, yes, by a fire extinguisher. And what happened? I was knocked out. And you lost your memory, too. You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory is because I had more brains to begin with. No, it's because you're an asshole. Actually, wait, no, that doesn't make sense either. You may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflection part seems to be severed. Yeah. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless, and then... There's something suspicious about Detective Atme. How could he not have noticed when the thief came in? Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back. But that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence. Huh? Which piece? The real question is, why would he tell such an obvious lie?
Hold it!
About this 30 minutes. My silver cord was loosened and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium. Wouldn't that imply that you died? As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying that he was out cold. And wait, if you were out for 30 minutes, then why didn't you go to see a doctor? Because, like, a concussion lasting more than, like, a few minutes is seriously bad. Hell, a concussion lasting more than a few seconds is bad. But 30 minutes? Yeah, that's... You might have serious brain damage. No one can say, Your Honor, that span of time has truly vanished into the ether. Just what is he going on about?
Objection!
Mr. Atme, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Aha! This belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch-nemesis, Mask to Mask. It is, in point of fact, Mask to Mask's brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Aha! Elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough. Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing. Ripped off? Aha! You can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night. You, Detective Atme. Detective Atme, you must have fought with a thief that night. So, why did you lie in your testimony to the court? Witness giving false testimony is a serious crime. No, wait just a moment, sir, old-timer. Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home. I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately. Or maybe it's the fucking brain damage! The true measure of a man is in the amount of work he does. That's what I always say. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time, isn't that right? You talk too much. Witness, so now you are saying that you and the thief fought. Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor. Excuse me? Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. I, Luke Atme, agree completely. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, Luke Atme cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true, bam! And that's all she wrote. So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask to Mask. Correct! It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak. Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case. That can't be good. So why did you look away from the door anyway? In addition to the camera, I had prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course. So you were momentarily vulnerable when you were working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat-detecting infrared and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lordly Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security camera that took the photo belongs to them as well. In other words, he couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh? Has that cleared up any doubts you had about me, Sir Lawyer?
Hold it!
So, did that computer belong to Lordly Taylor as well? Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. That was specially designed by me. Look at me. In that case, you could have easily manipulated the data. What's wrong, Sir Lawyer?
Hold it!
What does that mean? Discombobulated. Young people these days, they really irritate me. They allow perfectly good old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean. Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway? Now I've forgotten. What was I saying? Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago. Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony.
Hold it!
What do you mean by weapon from the side? Naturally, that thief had no idea that I, Luke Atme, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse. Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp. Okay, so he is talking about the Shichishito. So the thief armed himself with a sword, and what about yourself, witness? A true gentleman fights only with his fists. I feel like there's a latent quote in here somewhere.
Hold it!
You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities? But of course, in college I was the second in charge of the boxing club. I'm sorry if I failed to find that appropriately impressive. However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, Mask to Mask. This guy's a real piece of work.
Hold it!
Can you tell us a little more about what happened? My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious. Powericious? Now you're just making up words. I assumed the Atme fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me. What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? You were blinded? So what was this flash of light that blinded you? I was bathed in a golden light that seemed to come from the statue of the woman. Statue of Ami Faye, I'm guessing. Well, that wasn't very much help at all. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now. Yeah? What is it? This Luke Atme guy, he's definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective.
Hold it!
What is this at-me fighting style? I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say any more. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you. That's it? That's the at-me fighting style? Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony? Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all. Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night. Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out. Now then, witness, we'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony. I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye.
Hold it!
What? Where is this third eye you're talking about? Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the unenlightened. You may call it the forehead if you like. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? Sir Lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper. So Mr. Atney got hit on the forehead then? That's what he says. Got a funny feeling about that. Actually, so do I. Well, what do you think, Nick?
Objection! Hold it!
simpler than I thought it was. Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun this is, Sir Lawyer. It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. No. Struck me from behind. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you can forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I've made another mistake. Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example... the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong. To err is human, to forgive divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate, and yes, they even make mistakes.
Objection!
Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that. Really? What is it like then? I don't think you should slam your coffee cup on the bench like that, sir. That seems really dangerous. Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting? Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that Mr. Atme is mask to mask. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atme's true identity is actually mask to mask. Yerg! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atme's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scenes, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please, the explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atme. The truth is that you are, in fact, mask to mask. Grr! But, Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows mask to mask. The security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor Department Store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as the thief and stole the urn. So the ace detective is actually an ace thief. Is this true, witness? Why does this feel familiar? Aha. Demasemo is pure genius, and so am I, Luke Atme, ace detective. You are very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Lawyer. What? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Did you really need to throw that? Anyway, Neon says, but how does Atme fit his nose under the mask? That's a good question. Because there is no way he's fitting that, fucking beak under there. Not without breaking his nose. Godot blend number 102. My personal favorite. Then why did you throw it at me? Mr. Godot. The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. I feel like there was a game that involved something, a plot line like that. Neon says that he was providing me with a free sample. He could have just handed it to me rather than throwing it at my face. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true. But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Trite. If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face. Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have, quickly. Huh? Wow, I got cleaned up real fast. Neon says, you're too far away. There's a whole courtroom between you. He could have come out from behind the bench and given it to me. Come on, it's not that far of a walk. Then again, maybe not in the middle of the court, in the middle of an actual court proceeding. Then again, he's drinking coffee in the middle of a court proceeding, so he can't get much more unprofessional. Huh? Yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Emmy looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can, but can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atme is in fact masked to mask. Meow says it could be worse. He could have a whip. That's true. Proof? Of course I've got nothing. Ha! Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all. Ugh. I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. Wait, actually that brings up a good question. How long was Franziska's whip if it could hit me from all the way on the other side of the courtroom? How big is this courtroom, for that matter? This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy's the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? And Neon agrees that that is a very good question. About the size of the courtroom and Franziska's whip. So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all. It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add, then hold it. Who? Who are you? That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Mr. Light, what are you doing here? Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for. I think I found it. You mean that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, that's the sacred urn. Nick, it's the urn. Order, order, order. You, madame. That urn, where did you find it? You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective, Luke Atme. Oh, Desi, you're the best! Neon says it looks different. Yeah, it does look a little bit different, doesn't it? Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Ugh. Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one. Ha! Pathetic. Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved. Before casting aspersions at Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight, is that correct? Yes, what about it? Ha! How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere. Including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madame. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we've been witness to. You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. Miss Delight. Please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So, unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? His fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are you going to do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Atme must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. Me? Aw. Aw, his description is cute. Me, what more can I say? This is my 3rd year as a young but skilled lawyer.
Take that!
So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday? Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at that time, but I did touch what was inside. What? You touched it? And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atme's office.
Objection!
Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What did you say? It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atme Detective Agency. Ha. This blend, Godot blend number 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all. Order, order, order! I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and... Wait! Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the iron. What are you saying? Yes, I've finally broken him down. Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself! Here I am, the tragic clown! This guy's nuttier than a fruitcake. You see, it was me all along! I am the one and only Mask to Mask! Haha! I hope you all enjoyed my little performance! Well, Mr. Godot, what was Mr. Atmy's condition? He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be. Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. Nick, you were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. Hold it. You're wrong! Wrong, I tell you! I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief, the sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures. It's me, I'm him, I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it. Pronounce me guilty, please. I don't know what kind of a kangaroo court you all think this is, but...
Objection!
The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judge... What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you. Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee. Ha. Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes. Yes, sir? If you're really a man, clean up your own mess. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are mask to mask, then prove it. That's what it means. Yes, sir, I'd be happy to. He says he'd be happy to now. It's kind of cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy. Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I feel like we're past that point. I know that. I won't fail, I swear. Okay then, talk. We're all listening. Oh well, let's all have a listen to this confession. The truth is, I've been mask to mask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually mask to mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right there in the photo, that's me. As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and it got torn off, that's all. I don't like the direction this trial has taken. But this is how every trial goes, at least with me, anyway. Ha! You're doing great. Stop it, Mr. Godot, you're embarrassing me. Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through with this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise, too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true mask to mask. Thanks so much, Mr. Godot. I'll do my best. All right, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid it's time for the cross-examination.
Hold it!
You may think you're the real mask to mask, but your wife thinks you're delusional. I haven't told Desi yet, about my true identity, I mean. Believe me, I've got my reasons. But the way your room is decked out, how could she not know about it? Even thieves have complicated family situations, I suppose. I'm just picturing all the Phantom Thieves in unison being like, you don't know the half of it. What should I do? It sounds like we're about to get sidetracked again. Press harder. So why are you withholding the truth from your wife? Well, first of all, I don't think she'd believe me anyway. And second, if there's one thing that Desi absolutely detests, it's criminals. If that's the case, then why did you ever start thieving to begin with? Well, Desi is crazy about shopping. She's a real shopaholic. But she's the love of my life, Your Honor. I guess you could say I'm a Desi-holic. Oh. So you do have a complicated family situation after all. Alright, that's enough. Please continue with your testimony. I beg of you.
Hold it!
I thought you were going to be the one to show us the proof. You know, that you're the real mask and not just some kind of obsessed fanboy. Hey now, that's not fair. Why do I have to do all the hard work anyway? Maybe because you're the one making the outrageous claim for a change. Come on, Nick, you know that Mr. Delight couldn't have committed the crime. You're the one with the fancy law degree. It's time to put it to work already. I need some kind of proof that wrong couldn't possibly be mask to mask. Well, I guess if you had that kind of proof, we wouldn't still be here, would we? For the time being, maybe I need to shift strategy. I should try to show that Mr. Delight couldn't have stolen the urn. Anyway, I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen. You've got no alibi? I've been a judge for a long time, and this is the first time I've ever heard a defendant brag about having no alibi. But I tell you, I was in Lordly Taylor that night. No. That's too vague, even for me. To be more precise, I was down in the basement warehouse. Hold on. What is it, Nick? Where was Ron Delight when the crime happened anyway? If we can prove he had an alibi after all, this case will be a piece of cake. Well, you're right, but... Huh. You think you can prove that? Wake up and smell the coffee. Well, I think maybe I can. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence that shows the defendant has an alibi? I do. I have the evidence, or do you think I'm still some sort of third-rate rookie? Oh, I've never seen you this angry before. I'm not surprised. Anger is the last refuge of the pathetic. I thought I was more confident than angry. Well then, let's see this evidence already. Show to this court evidence that proves where your client was on the night of the crime.
Take that!
Mr. Delight, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Oh, yes, it does. I had lost it somewhere. Mr. Wright, when you find a wallet, you should report it to the police right away. No, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence. Evidence? Mr. Delight. What kind of voice was that? Mr. Delight, when did you first notice that you'd lost your wallet? Let's see. I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know I still had it when Desi and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 a.m. at KB Security Headquarters. What? Surely you're not serious. Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. Delight was, in fact, at KB Security that night. No! So if the defendant was at KB Security at 1 o'clock in the morning... Actually, hang on a sec. How the hell does no one realize that he's mask to mask? Just look at the outfit. He's literally half dressed in the mask to mask outfit anyway. All he needs is a hat. All he needs is the brooch, the hat, and the mask. That's all he needs to put on. Anyway. So if the defendant was at KB Security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he has a watertight alibi. No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lordly Taylor and KB Security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car, according to Larry anyway. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have anything to say? and stop drinking that coffee. Come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong. You are the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Godot. All right, I'll try. I'll do it. I will. He's really got Mr. Delight all worked up. Yeah, he's like a kid at his first day of school. Look, it's just ridiculous. Why would I have dropped my wallet at KB Security? Someone must have planted it there to make it look like I was there and not at the heist. Planted it there? He's really reaching now. Mr. Delight, you probably dropped your wallet when you took it out to use this, didn't you? The keycard to KB Security's CEO's office. No! Ha! That was a pretty good try, Mr. Trite. Unfortunately, you've overlooked one small thing. What? Motive, of course. Why would this thief go to KB Security in the middle of the night anyway? Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all. Grrr, this stupid kid. What kid? Now then, let's see your evidence. Evidence that shows why Mr. Delight went to KB Security at 1 a.m. that night.
Take that!
Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? Ah! That's... What is it? A blackmail letter. That's what it looks like from the contents. Blackmail? Yes, basically it says bring $50,000. That certainly sounds like blackmail, all right. At the time of the theft, Mr. Delight was dealing with the blackmailer himself in KB Security CEO office, a full half an hour away from the scene of the crime. No! How did he say that while chugging coffee? Order! So when the theft of the urn occurred, the defendant was at KB Security. It looks like a perfect case for the defense.
Objection!
You may see it as a perfect case, Judge, but to me... Well, let's just say that my Godot blend number 107 impresses me a lot more. What are you trying to say? You say the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of a security company, but did you actually investigate the CEO at all? Huh? Well, no, I guess not. Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof, I'm not sure what I think of that. Not sure what I think of that? At least I know what I think of you. Good point. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim that the defendant entered the CEO's office, but you will need at least one witness to corroborate your claim, Mr. Wright. Nick, I think we're going to have to track down the CEO guy. No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all. What do you mean by that, Mr. Trite? There is someone else who can testify. This is the person who can testify that the keycard was used at 1 a.m. that night.
Take that!
Who is this useless-looking young man? Poor Larry. You don't remember him, Your Honor? Not exactly. But just looking at his picture makes the bile start to rise in my throat. Yeah, he has that effect on people. Yeah, looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. He probably blocked out that memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a guard at KB Security that night. Oh? The question at hand is this key card. As you can see, there's no need to investigate the CEO of KB Security. We should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing this key card's data. He literally just got another cup of coffee specifically so he could do a spit take. How extra do you have to be? Well, Mr. Godot? The name of the CEO of KB Security is Kane Bullard. I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data. Here. So, what does it show? Each keycard has its own serial number, and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, this card was used at 1 a.m. on the morning of the crime. means it can't be Mr. Delight dressed as Mask to Mask in this photo. Ha. It looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew a good cup of joe. So then... Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB Security CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it's impossible for the defendant to be Mask to Mask.
Good job! You did it! You did it, Nick!
That's enough. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of thief. What's wrong, Your Honor? I'm ready to pass judgment, but before I do that, do you have any further objections? No, Your Honor. Very well. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, not guilty. Court is now adjourned.
Nick, you did it! You were right after all.
And Neon says, yay!
Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself.
Nicky boy. Oh, Miss Delight. I knew you could do it. I believed in you all along, Nicky boy. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Oh, shucks. Thanks, Miss Delight. I just know I'm blushing.
Congratulations, Mr. Nick!
Oh, but Pearls! I've got a bad feeling about this.
Who is this woman?
Oh, she's nobody. She's just,
You're blushing! How dare you do this in front of Mystic Maya? You should be ashamed of yourself! Ouch! She slapped me.
Pearly.
This woman is Miss Desiree Delight. She's our client's wife. Mr. Nick!
Yes?
You're even worse than I thought! Going behind the back of your own client.
No, you've got it all wrong.
I'll never forgive you!
Ow! A double slap. I'm not doing anything, I'm just talking to her. Jeez. Actually, honestly, considering the way she's... Neon says Nick is a monster. He's not doing anything! But actually, yeah. Come to think of it, given what Maya mentioned about all the dysfunctional relationships in the Karayan village and how Pearl has, and that's basically the model that Pearl has grown up with when it comes to relationships. Her reaction is kind of unfortunately very appropriate. Like, she's totally misinterpreting what's going on, like, radically, but I actually kind of do understand where she's coming from with that horrible misinterpretation, and it's actually kind of sad.
Well, anyway, all's well that ends well, right? We got the sacred urn back, and the thief has been caught.
You're so right, and it's all thanks to Nicky Boy here.
But actually, it was you, Miss Delight, that brought us our urn back.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, please, you're embarrassing me. If we won the case, then why does this guy still look so glum? But I am the thief. Actually, what's the point now? What is it, honey? I did my best for you, Ronnie. I know that, and I appreciate it, Desi. But the thing is... Come on. Give the kid some time. Actually, how old is Delight anyway? 23. He's only a few years younger than me. Wow. Well, a few years younger than Nick, anyway. He's just got a little touch of the blues. You know about feeling blue, right, amigo?
Mr. Godot, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. I just came here to say thanks to my newest buddy. You, Mr. Trite. Maybe you should learn my name before you call me Buddy. Well, playtime is over. Huh? Early this morning, the body of Cain Bullard was discovered. Cain Bullard? Where have I heard that name before? Isn't that the name of the CEO of KB Security? Wait, but body? The estimated time of death was 1 a.m. on October 12th. 1 a.m. on October 12th? You don't mean... That's right, amigo. At the same time that a cheap little urn was being stolen, the CEO of KB Security was being murdered. So then, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. You figured it out already, haven't you, amigo? Or have you already forgotten about that piece of info I helped you out with today? Help me out? What? On October 12th at 1 o'clock in the morning, Ron Light was in the CEO's office, the scene of the murder. Neon says, looks like this isn't over yet. Yep! Not quite over. After getting that blackmail letter, he must have been I don't think that's actually how it's supposed to be spelled, but I also feel like that might be an intentional pun somehow. Imbued. It should be imbued, no R, but imbrued with utter rage. If that's not an intentional pun, then I swear. What are you saying? Imbrued with rage? Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Light was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. An employee of KB Security? It looks like the alibi that saved him from being convicted as a thief is going to be the noose that gets him hanged. Kind of an anti-alibi. No way! He can't be the thief because he was at the murder scene when the murder occurred. No, that's a lie. It can't be true. Oh, but I am a thief, I tell you. Ron Light, you're going back to prison again. This time, the charge is much more serious. This time, you'll be tried for murder. What? This is impossible. I'm looking forward to another exciting showdown, Mr. Trite. Huh? You and I aren't through with each other yet. Surely you won't back down from a challenge. You've never been a coward. Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two? I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. Let me try that again. I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. At least let me have some fun while I'm here. This guy, who the heck is he? He may be quiet, but he's the most dangerous enemy I've ever faced. Well then, time to say goodbye to Mr. Delight. Nick, how could this be happening? Right in front of our very eyes, our client had been arrested for murder. And the one who established his presence at the scene was me. Yeah, Robbie! Arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny. What the heck's going to happen next? Man, it just isn't Mr. Delight's day, is it? Thank you. Neon says, poor guy. You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. Delight got arrested again. Well, supposedly Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way, Jose! I don't buy it! But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself, at least from what I can understand. Looks like he did too good of a job this time, Nick. Well, How about we get started looking into the KB security murder?
I think I'm gonna head back to Crying Village for a little while, if that's alright.
Sure, but why?
I'm gonna bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with... No, Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you two to spend some special quality time together, full of love and happiness.
Pearls is so caught up in her fantasy, she forgot there's a murder to solve.
Now remember, no fighting, okay?
And she's gone.
Okay, Nick, time to get going on this murder investigation.
So what do we do now?
Isn't it obvious we should get out there and investigate the murder?
Well, first we need to find out exactly where KB Security is located.
Hey, well, we could ask Miss Delight. She should know.
Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Motorcycles? You're not thinking of getting one, are you?
I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy.
Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. Light.
Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention center, too.
You must be relieved we got the sacred urn back, huh?
You bet.
But there's something a little different about it.
Don't at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this.
Clearly says I am on the urn in the poster.
But the urn we got back says Ami like it always used to.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now.
I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Ami's name into I am. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it.
Is it possible that urn is a fake?
I'm sure Pearls will find out about that when she gets back to Crying Village.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Crying Village in a long time. So I guess people still go to Crying Village to do their training, right?
Yep. If you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training.
So why haven't you been training lately, Maya?
Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that.
A channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is.
If you're going to train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen.
Is that what happened last... Is what happened last year still bothering you? That murder in her village, it happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses the crying technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned... the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. That murder, it wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you?
I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all.
It sounds like being the master of crying is going to be a heavy responsibility. Let's just go down the list. The Treasures of Crying exhibit is all ruined now. Maya,
I'm sorry, it's just so sad. This was our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling.
maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Well, now that we've got the sacred urn back, maybe they can reopen it.
Really?
Sure, maybe we can label it the Urn of Master's Desires. That would probably attract a lot of attention.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's brilliant, Nick! We could clean up and be filthy rich! Woohoo!
Wow, that was surprisingly easy. It's the folding screen of Korion's sacred writings, but I can't read what it says on it. Really? But I thought it was some kind of important spell.
Ah,
Yeah, my mother read it and taught me to memorize it. I'll be in trouble if I ever forget it. Looks like the crying channeling school is teetering dangerously on the edge. A piece of cloth with a ton of finely written characters jammed onto it. Probably esoteric knowledge only mediums would know. Let's see. Here's the title in English. 108 Ways to Save Money. I'm pretty sure the number has gone up since the last time I saw it. Well, we're always looking for new ways, you know? Being a medium sounds like a rough way of life. It's probably where the sacred urn was going to be displayed. Yeah, I guess so. Should I put my attorney's badge there? You know, as a replacement? I think it's a little too small for that. What about my Magatama? Now you're being silly. That's definitely too small. They're just a bunch of old urns. Are these really treasures too? Of course they are. This is a treasure exhibit, isn't it? Well, yeah, I guess so. So all it takes to be a treasure is age? No wonder nobody likes museums. Wow, this is incredible. It's a teeny version of my whole village. Hey, I've got a great idea. We can make a miniature of your office, Nick. I don't know about that. The whole place is overflowing with junk. You die before you finish painstakingly recreating that mess. Well, we could always clean it up first. Neon says, just set Maya on the pedestal. She's a precious treasure all her own. This is true. Nick agrees that she's a precious treasure. What do you mean he wasn't talking about that? Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright. Miss Andrews. What's she still hanging around down here for? So how's it going? What about the sacred urn? The urn? Oh, that. It's been taken care of already. What do you mean, oh, that? Taken care of? Do you mean it's been found? Yes! It was brought in during the trial today. Wow, really? You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. Neon says, thank you for your support, Mr. Nick. It was Master Mask's wife that found it. Well, anyway, I'm so relieved. This is the camera and computer that Detective Atney set up, huh? That's what he said. And yet he still let it take a picture of him. I guess he's not as smart as he pretends to be. The camera belonged to Lord Taylor, so he knew he couldn't tamper with it. So then why would Atney, Master Mask, allow that to happen? A pathetic-looking wooden box. Ah! That's the box that had the secret urn in it. Don't touch it. There may be clues to the thief's identity on it. Grr. I worked so hard to make that box. Huh? You made that poor excuse for a box, Maya? What's that supposed to mean? And I was so proud of it. Sniffle, sniffle. Poor Maya. Maybe it had been better if Master Mask had taken the box, too. Detective Atney said he got hit on the back of the head with this by the thief. That was obviously a lie. Because it turned out that Atney was the real thief. It's still hard to believe. Looks like Adrian feels really bad about it. I'm going to take full responsibility and fix that sword myself. I know I don't look it, but I have complete confidence that I can fix it right up. I promise I'll fix it so you never knew it was bent in the first place. But please be gentle with it. The statue wasn't where it is now when we first came here, right? Yeah, it was right next to the door, wasn't it? Well, if someone moved it, it was probably Mask to Mask. Maybe he didn't like being watched by Mystic Ami while he stole the urn. Hey, cut it out. You're giving me the creeps with that kind of talk. Looks to me like it's been dry for several days. There's something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left part of it is shaped oddly and is shocking pink. I don't see how the color of paint is in any way important. Looks like the door to the actual storeroom. You can see lots of big boxes and stuff back there. I guess that's where they were keeping the sacred urn. Remember, Maya, Miss Andrews said we're not allowed in there. I just heard all about it on the news. So that detective was actually the thief all along. It looks that way right now. It's my fault. I'm the one who ended up hiring the mask to guard the treasures. Don't blame yourself. You were just doing your job. Hey, Nick, if she wants to apologize, you should let her. So, when was it that you hired Detective Atme again? About 20 days ago. And when was it that Master Mask's calling card arrived? That was about 10 days ago. So he sent a calling card to the very place he was hired to guard. I guess that's it then. Detective Atme must have really wanted the sacred urn after all. I guess so. What? So Master Mask murdered someone as well? Well, that's how things look right now. Yes, but I thought that he was here stealing the urn at the time. Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything is possible. Nick, let's get down to business already to defeat the Huns. On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atme? No, I couldn't have. After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never even caught a glimpse of him. He claims that's the way he always operates. I don't know, I think I'd have caught a glimpse of the tip of his nose from this angle. That's just what he says, so he can have an alibi while he commits the thefts himself. Yeah, he was caught in the crime scene photo, dressed up as Master Mask pretty well. I'm so glad that you got your sacred urn back. Yes, but there's still something that bothers me about it. What is it? I'm not exactly sure. Somehow the urn that came back seems different. Really? You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews? No, I don't know anything. Why would I? Cyclops. What do you think this means, Nick? It means the person that holds the secret to the mystery of the sacred urn is our very own Miss Andrews. I heard Detective Atme for security before we even received a calling card. I suppose that was a mistake. I mean Master Mask. He sent a calling card to the very exhibit he was hired to guard. I wonder if it was because he knew it would be easy to steal. Yes, but he should have also known that he could easily become a suspect. I thought the whole exhibit would be brightened up by something shiny and gold. That's why I went to the trouble of borrowing it from a branch family training hall. A gold statue is totally cool in my book. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty cool. It arrived rather late, so I thought I wouldn't be able to put it on display. By the way, it looks like this statue was moved on the night of the theft. Do you know anything about that? Huh? No, it certainly wasn't me that moved it. Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Curious. The security camera was provided by Lordly Taylor Department Store. I took a close look at it on the day after the theft. The timestamp on the photo is definitely real. know anything about the sacred urn? Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the court today. It's obviously not the same urn as before. Well, that's true. Maybe it isn't the same. It could be a fake. A fake? You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence the urn that was submitted at the trial was genuine? No, I don't. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. I should investigate and gather more clues before I try again. Oh, this place is literally crawling with cops. What did you expect? Now that they know he was actually masked to mask, this must be incredibly embarrassing for them, don't you think? Yeah, I guess they're trying to make up for it by tearing the place apart. Hey, I just noticed, Gumshoe is nowhere to be seen. Well, he is a homicide detective. He's probably working on the murder case. But wasn't he in charge of the mask-to-mask investigation all the way up to yesterday? Well, a murder case is a lot more exciting, isn't it? He'd say something like, "There's nothing like a good murder case, pal." Points for the quality of the impression, but I'm not sure Gumshoe has bloodlust Maya. Oh, it won't let me examine anything. Okay, fine. Oh, Nicky boy, Maya. Miss Delight. All I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case. Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating herself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Miss Delight had such a vulnerable side. The harder you try, the more fake it sounds. Yeah, Mr. Delight really works hard at his craft, huh? Costume pieces that are arranged inside a nice frame. It's a fake beard. It's also a mask made out of cardboard. Here, Nick, try on this fake beard. Come on, try it on. Hey, cut it out. Now put on the mask. It's Phoenix Damask. If you like it, feel free to take it home with you. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, that's so cute. It's called a hot air balloon, you know? Wow, there's no fooling you. I want to make my own balloon now. I'll even let you ride in it, Nick. That emblem on the balloon is supposed to be top secret. This could convince the course that Ron Delight is mask to mask. I'd better not tell Maya. She gets kind of scary when it comes to celebrities. Carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never, ever kill anyone. It's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!" He would never say that. Anyway, Miss Delight, he might not be a killer. But he's still going around saying that he's a thief. I already told you, that's just a fantasy for him. Miss Delight, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief. Ha! The very idea. I guess I just don't get it. Huh? Get what? I just can't understand how they can be so different and yet be such a happy couple. Yeah, they sure are different. Come on now, Nicky boy. It's not that mysterious, is it? It's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight. For me, anyway. What? For you? I hate these kinds of people more than anything. You mean ace detectives? No, I'm fine with ace detectives. Oh, so then you must mean thieves. No, they're all right too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. Ahem. And the catchy somewhere is wondering why he's sneezing. Someone's talking about him. There's nothing I hate more than cowardly men. By the way, why did you go to Detective Atney's office anyway? Well, as the trial went on, I started to get more and more anxious. I went there to try to find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yes, obviously the real Master Mask is not my Ronnie, right? Yeah? And Detective Atney knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then you went there to ask him some questions. That's right, I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said the ace detective isn't in right now, but I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call that office of his a hideout. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table. Oh yeah, we saw that bag there yesterday. Too. There's nothing lower than someone who would try to pin a crime on someone else. Miss Delight, do you know about KB Security? Don't be silly, of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today, Ron Delight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. Ron quit. He doesn't work there anymore. It looks like Miss Delight doesn't know. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away, by motorcycle that is. Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Well, I have to admit I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. To make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? Why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? No, I'll pass, thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves? What a scaredy cat you are, Nick. Miss Delight told us the location of KB Security. Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick. First. So was it really love at first sight when you met Mr. Delight? Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life. Saved your life? I was at work one day when two robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl into a little ball in a corner, so I fought back. Robbers? Yes, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives, and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in the guard uniform of his. He went right up to those two knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces. Please, stop it, he screamed. I could see the robbers' faces turn pale. That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Then, crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the two robbers. All by himself. He came to save me, a total stranger, all by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me. Wow, that's a great story. Yes, he may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did. Sniff, sniff. That's so romantic. I'd fall in love too, I guess. Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage. With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not-so-distant future. Gulp. show her that, Nick. That emblem is top secret, don't you remember? Oh, oops, sorry about that. The way she just said top secret was a worse giveaway than what I did. Ooh, when I hear the word top secret, it just piques my interest like nothing else. Do you know about this? Oh, is that a letter addressed to my Ronnie? Sorry, but I hate it when people poke their noses into other people's business. It looks like Miss Delight doesn't know about it, which means she has no idea that her husband was being blackmailed. That's Ronnie's wallet. It was found at KB Security on the night of the murder. Ronnie and I went out to dinner early that evening. I'm sure he had his wallet with him then. So it's true then, he must have dropped it at the crime scene. Ah, I know what that is. That's one of those key cards from Ronnie's company. Come to think of it, it's been a long time since I've seen one. Probably because Ron doesn't work there anymore. Who knows, maybe it's exactly like this house. Hahaha, you're so funny sometimes, Mickey boy. But if I was a famous thief, I'd live in a great big, gorgeous mansion. I'll be sure to tell that to your husband. Before I head to detention center. I already told you it's not me! A sad, pitiful whine that tapers into silence. Sounds like they're interrogating Mr. Delight right now. Man, and we don't have enough time as it is. Yeah, well, I guess the police are going crazy just like we are. Yesterday they thought he was just a thief, but now they got a murder case on their hands. I guess you're right. That guard over there looks a bit on edge, too. Come on, we'll just have to come back later. Okay, let's go check out some other place, Nick. And let's head over. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh? The walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in a CEO's office. What has that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys. Oh, it's it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us. Yeah, I feel for you. Wow, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserve, pal. Ho, 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 ho. Or something to that effect. Do I really sound like that to you, pal? If the gumshoe fits. Well, anyway. The point is, I can tell you when someone puts their heart into their jobs. And I can sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Now if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. Wow, this safe is unbelievable. I bet 4 pearls would fit in there. And it's got a bunch of doohickeys attached to it. It's pretty amazing, alright. Motion sensors, heat sensors, weight sensors. Hey, Nick, come on! Let's open it and take a look! If I broke into one of these, wouldn't that set me down the path to Hoodlumville? This rope. I think it fell out of the safe when it was opened? I don't think so. So, you mean... Yeah, I think the string shows where and how the corpse was lying. You mean... the victim? He was killed by being crushed by the safe door? Can't be serious, can she? This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out, just for a second. Ooh, nice. I feel just like a CEO. Hey, you! Whip me up a coffee. Nope. Whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. Ah, this is the life. The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know. Well, that killed the mood. Oh, there's a button here. Let's see. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that. That was pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that. What is that button anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says it right there on the panel. Oops, you're right. It's written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first? This alarm is connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime. Ooh, so when the CEO was attacked, do you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer? Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there. But they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we better go and talk to that guard about this emergency buzzer. Wow, look at that huge framed photo. Tall mountains rising majestically against a dark and cloudy sky. There's a title written at the bottom of the photo. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it? This was his best sunrise? Either this guy didn't get out enough or he had really rotten luck with the weather. Maybe if he had lived a little longer, he would have seen some better days. Check out this big, thick binder here. Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick. Reading a file isn't exactly backbreaking work, just a little hard on the eyes. Ah! What did you find out, Nick? This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is all about mask to mask. It's filled with info on him. What? What kind of info? It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scenes. Hey, Nick, look at the last page. It's a list. Let's see. Tier of Emanon, $100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Mask to Mask stole. So then, $100,000 is the value of the stolen item? I don't know, that number sounds kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. These look like some kind of bookshelf rolling cabinet hybrid. Ugh, I can't get in between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel. So I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with bunches of files. Yeah, files filled with data about security jobs they were hired to handle. It'd be a good night's reading if you've got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, like UFOs or something. I don't think you'd find much on UFOs in a place like this. What happened? Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the murder. Okay, but the thing is, I'm really not supposed to. Hey, come on. What about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now, and we need help. Okay, I'll tell ya. Just don't start crying on me, okay, pal? Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. The victim's name is Kane Bullard. He was the CEO of KB Security and a pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. Neon points out, you never know, the victim could be a UFO fanatic. That's true. That's always a possibility. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, probably an object in this room. It happened at exactly the same time that Mask to Mask was stealing the urn, huh? So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body? There's a good explanation for that one. Bullard's body was stashed away inside that safe. Safe? Well, it is pretty big. Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out. Neon says Mr. Bullard looks like a man with an interest in UFOs. Yeah, come to think of it, I wouldn't put it past him. Just look at that face. That's the face of a man who's into UFOs. I think we still need some more information about Mr. Billiard. Maybe you could start by getting the man's name right. I couldn't even get the mispronunciation right. So, what happened to Basta Mask? He's at the detention center screaming like a madman. Investigate me again, he keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean that detective at me? Ho 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 ho. Oh, that was great. That guy got what he deserved. Ho 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 ho. Now that's the detective I know and love. Think about it. Atney was always around when a calling card showed up, but he always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Heh, yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was the thief. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective, that's all. But there's this one thing I can't figure out about his first heist. His first heist? Yeah, the Tear of Emanon case. There was a witness on that one. A witness? Here, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can keep it. Hey, this guard here. Haven't I seen him somewhere before? It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but now that she mentions it... Ooh, that prosecutor. I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight. Yeah, I think he did it that way because he knew it'd hurt. Just because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So who is that Java-addicted mass maniac anyway? Prosecutor Godot? He's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office, came out of nowhere. That's right, he said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true, according to the records anyway. But, no way he's an amateur. He's an Iceman in court, a maverick that gives me goosebumps. Goosebumps? You? Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way. Poor Detective Gumshoe. I had no idea you were so unpopular. No, that's not what I meant. That Godot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. Remember, don't tell anyone about that emblem, okay, pal? Does the thief ever send these to the police? No, always to the victims. Up until now, the victims have always come to us looking for help, though. That's not what happened this time, you mean? You got that right, pal. Listen up, if you guys ever get one of these calling cards, I want you to come to us right away, got it? Yeah, sure. The thief in the photo taken by the security camera is missing his brooch. Yep. The thing is, there's no evidence that the photo was tampered with. It was definitely taken at 12:58 a.m. I turned the tables of the trial today with the mystery of this missing brooch. I wonder if there's something more to this missing piece of costume jewelry. So Detective Atney wasn't hit in the back of the head after all. That's right, because he was the real thief. He wanted it to look like he was knocked out, so he bent it on purpose. I'd stake my reputation on it. Grr, what kind of a creep would ruin an antique for that? About this blackmail letter. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that too, pal. Why would Kane Bullard have been blackmailing Ron Delight anyway? Well, Mr. Delight used to work at KB Security, right? But what was it that made him quit? Nick, that's it. Maybe that's the same reason he's being blackmailed. Well, I'm in the middle of investigating that right now. Oh, alright. This is proof that Ron DeLite was here at the crime scene when the murder happened. His wallet. And this key card, huh? I think we need to ask Mr. DeLite some more about those two things. So about this. Huh? What's that? Hey, wait a minute, Maya. What's wrong? We copied that data without permission. Don't show it to him. He might get mad at us. So, what are you two whispering about? Oh, it's nothing. It's just my billfold. That's a pretty thick billfold you got there, pal. Now I really want you to show it to me. This was his first heist, and I guess I underestimated him. I was sure I was going to get him, so I was careless and lost the info on the witness. By witness, do you mean the guard in this photo? Yeah, he and the detective worked together to try catching Mask to Mask. But he got away anyway, huh? That guard. I got the weird feeling that I've seen him around lately. Oh, that's Miss Mia Fey. She was a truly beautiful person, pal. Huh? You knew her? You knew my sis? Sure, everybody in the police force knew her. We all lost a great friend that day. I just got something in my eye. I'm not crying. You're such a familiar face to me now, you know? And now that I think about it, you're the real victim in this case, right? But for some strange reason, it's hard to think of you as a victim, pal. You're darn right I'm the victim. That was our most precious treasure. You know, pal, I think I know why I can't think of you as a victim ever. Pretty goofy looking face, if you ask me. Hey! What are you doing carrying that around with you anyway? It's not like we ever need it. She has got a point. Detective Gumshoe, what about this? Aw, he doesn't have anything to say about Pearl. I kind of feel sorry for him. He's kind of a sad young guy. Yeah, and he seems to have a habit of always getting arrested prematurely. Well, it's just my personal opinion, but I think the police should have investigated the whole thing more carefully. But weren't you the one that arrested him with a giant goofy smile on your face? Come on, we don't have time to start with that. Let's just leave it alone. I know I look a little rougher on the edges, but the truth is I'm a lot more detective-like than I used to be. Really? Like what part? Like the color of my coat. Ah, you're right! Yeah, but what about what's inside the coat? I always knew there was something suspicious about this guy. And I was right. It turned out that the mask was really that ace detective in disguise. You really thought that? Oh, of course. It's the stone cold truth. Sooner or later, a guy like that always shows his true colors. Yeah, well, I think we saw a little too much of his colors today. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. The guy is a real puzzle, if you ask me. Then maybe I should be asking you. Do you know something about him? Why would I know something? Well, it sure sounded like you two knew each other from the way you acted today. It's Mr. Godot that acts like he knows Nick, not the other way around. Exactly. You'd think I'd remember someone like him. I still say the whole thing's a bit suspect. It really is. Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Mr. Shane Bluebard. That's Kane Bullard, not Shane Bluebard, pal. Oh yeah, the victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me. Well, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead. Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning. Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out? Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now. Okay, Nick, now's our chance to get more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard? He was the CEO of KB Security, right? What kind of company is it anyway? Well, the company basically sends security teams out to buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had the chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work. Oh, and I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber. Really? Me too. I just love money. I can't ever get enough. Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. Anyway, it looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions. Oh, so that's my problem. I need to be shiftier. Let me go already. Apparently he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies. Ooh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded. Yeah. Oh, KB Security used to head security operations against Mask to Mask. What? Really? Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive. So it really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh? It's really futuristic. Wow, this is really something else. For security guard office, it sure doesn't feel very secure. KB security guard. Oh, uh-oh, I just remembered. Larry might be. Hey, Nick, what's up? Ugh, so he is here. Yo, how's it hanging, dude? You got my sweet little Maya with you, too. Your sweet little Maya? Hi, Larry. Here I was working my fingers to the bone, and in walks an angel. I've got no problems with the daytime date. It's all good. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating the Bullard murder case. Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's so hopelessly clueless. Well, if it's about the murder case, boy, have I got some good info for you. Really? What is it? Well, I don't mind sharing with my sweet little Maya, but Nick here is a different story. Oh, come on. But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies. That was then, and this is now. Oh, come on, dude. Wow, take a look at these things here. Hey, Larry, what are they? Did you say Hey, man, it's not like I have to know what they are to do my job. I always thought they were just some kind of decoration or something. Oh, boy. How did this guy ever get a job here anyway? Hey, Larry, that's your jacket, isn't it? That's right. Did you know you hung it right on top of some kind of lever? Yeah, sure. I was told to never ever touch that lever. She scowled and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got it, Greenhorn? So why hang your jacket on such an important lever? Because it got me curious. If the jacket's weight pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't the suspense just kill you? Don't you want to know what'll happen, huh? It's true. It's killing me too. What about you, Nick? Yeah, but for a different reason. Something is written on this poster in fine print. A guard's 5 commandments. Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says. Number 1, obey thy superior. Number 2, respect thy superior. Number 3, smile at thy superior. Number 4, salute thy superior. Number 5, buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor. She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and you come face to face with a real, genuine ray gun. Yeah, sounds scary, alright. Well, fortunately she's on vacation. That's why I'm so relaxed right now. Oh, thank God she's not here. That's my partner's seat. Your partner? Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of a weird old lady. There's tea spilled all over that machine, you know? Oh, don't worry about it. Just the other day, I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. It still works fine, more or less. They really know how to build them, I guess. I really have to question her professionalism. Those screens there show what's going on all over the building, everywhere. It's my job to keep a steady eye on them, all of them. I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you. Can you watch regular TV on these too? If anyone would sit there and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry. Hey Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it. And how do you know that, Larry? Because that was my first bit of investigation, if you know what I mean. I know what you're thinking, it was a professional investigation, alright? Yeah, right. Totally professional. You're just dripping professionalism, Larry. So, what's this good info you were talking about, Larry? Hey, I'm a guard, a pro! I can't just give away information for free. You want some bribe? I thought professionals were more, I don't know, honest? Can you talk to him, Maya? Larry, tell us already. What's the good info? Hey, I like that. This kitten has got some claws. Okay, you really want to know? Yes, so tell me. Okay, so the thing is, Ron DeLite was an employee here. And naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked into his background. Follow me? Yes, you're a pro. I follow you. Go on. Well, 1 year ago, Ron DeLite was fired. And there was no warning at all. It just happened all of a sudden. I know this is a small company, but I think that was pretty awful. I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that. Like maybe skipping out of work to go pick up hot chicks or something. No, that's just you. So, what is it like to be a part-time security guard? Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me, I get by alright, I guess. First, I have to keep my eye on those monitors, all the time. Monitors? There are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are gonna fall out. Oh. And if I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams. What teams? The security teams for this company. They're supposedly the best in the business. But I'm no amateur either, so if it's something small, I don't bother calling them. So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day long. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you? Why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me, and I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb. Even if it is part-time and you are dumb, you're still in charge of security here. Hey, give me a break. Don't try to pin the whole thing on me. That's not fair, Nick. Huh? I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility. Anyway, the point is you were here that night, right? Oh no, I knew something smelled bad, and it was the butts after all. Well, it's like I always say, that was then, and this is now, okay? It looks like I'm going to have to break his psych locks after all. Hey, Larry, there's something I want you to look at. Hey, Nick, I told you. He wants nothing to do with that.
Take that!
Okay, let's investigate this. On the night of the crime, were you working hard like you were supposed to? What? Huh? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I have been? But didn't you sneak out of work just yesterday to go see Ms. Delight? But that was that, and this is this. Is there any chance that you snuck out of work last night, too? Never, I didn't sneak out. I tell you what, I'll even bet you $1. $1? Wow, now that's confidence. What's with that drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have any evidence that I left my position, or are you just pulling my chain? The evidence that Larry was not manning the station when the murder happened This wallet. You know about this, right? I've never seen it before. Liar, you hand-delivered this wallet to Miss Delight just yesterday. Give me a break. You can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens. Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened just yesterday. What time was it when you found this wallet? Around 1 in the morning. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock? In the morning? That's right. In other words, Larry, at the time of the murder, you were away from the security guard's office. Yeah, but there's something you didn't think about. What's that? My shift that day didn't start until 10 p.m. The murderer might have snuck in before then. What do you mean by that? If the murderer had snuck in before 10 p.m., then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift was before mine. Why do I have the feeling that he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. You know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift.
Take that!
Larry, when you use this key card, does it leave a record? Yeah, it does, but I can't show the record to just anyone, you know? My keycard data was already made public in the trial today. What? I didn't know that. Any kind of request for info like that is supposed to go through me. Boy, does that sound a bit arrogant coming from a part-time guard. Anyway, according to the data, the door to the CEO's office was opened with this card. Furthermore, it was most definitely used at 1 a.m. the time of the murder. No way! Yes, someone used this to get into the CEO's office. That happened at 1 a.m. on the night of the crime, right in the middle of your shift. Ooh. Larry, you can't duck your responsibility this time. Ah, no! take responsibility.
Ooh, I knew it. It's all my fault.
It's my fault that the boss was killed. My fault. Larry, there was nothing I could do. I have important issues to deal with too, man. What happened that night anyway? My Donna happened. Huh? Your Donner? Donner? That's an entirely different thing. Donna? I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, my Donna called and said, I have to talk to you right away. So I went to see her, and he was standing right there next to her. Who was? Her new boyfriend! It was like some horrible joke. Before I knew what was going on, the guy socked me right in the kisser. Normally I'm the one that does the punching, isn't that right, Maya? Yeah, I guess. So is that why you left the security guard office? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. How could I ever make up for it, Nick? What could I do? What? He's curled up on the floor crying like a baby. Oh boy. Nick! Is there anything I can do? Anything. Just name it. I'll do whatever I have to do to make up for it. I swear I will. Larry. Hey Nick, as long as he's offering, why don't you show him the evidence we've got? She's right. Maybe we'll get at least one bit of useful information from him. Nick! The buzzer in the CEO's office is directly connected to this room, right? That's right. Just like my heart is connected to yours, Maya. Huh? Go ahead, Maya. Press the buzzer in your heart. No. I promise I'll come running to your rescue like the professional guard I am. No, you won't. Wow, that was pretty good. Yeah, thanks. I try. Do you think you could tell us about the buzzer now? Yes, please. Please tell us. Okay, I guess so. Prepare to be wowed. I accidentally pressed the buzzer earlier. Yeah, I heard it. So that was you, huh? You're a security guard, aren't you? Why didn't you come to the CEO's office? Well, this is the 3rd floor of the basement. The CEO's office is on the 1st floor. I thought it would be a good idea to, adopt a wait-and-see approach. Plus, there's a police detective here, right? I just didn't think it was necessary. It's as if he's trying to win an award for the laziest person on the planet. Let's get back to talking about the night of the murder, okay? Is it true that the buzzer didn't go off that night? There must be a record, right? You must have had a look at it, right? Of course I did, and I couldn't possibly have made a mistake either. Do you think you could take just one more look from me, pretty please? Oh, okay. I just can't say no to you, Maya. What do you think, Nick? He's probably right. I don't think even Larry can make a mistake like that. What? What is it? What's wrong? I made a mistake! Huh? But how? It can't be! It's impossible! Okay, enough already. What about the records? That night, it went off just once in the morning at around 1 a.m. 1 a.m.? That's when the murder happened. Really? Are you serious? That's terrible. It can't be. Huh. Went off once at 1:02 a.m. You guys have really made me reflect on the way I've been living. But the only problem is, with all this reflecting, where's the time for love? Frankly, I think reflecting is a bit overrated, you know. Oh, come on, Larry. What are you going on about, Larry? Plus, do you honestly have any new info on the buzzer record? Huh? The record? No, nothing at all. This guy reflects about as much as a piece of black carpeting. Let's go talk to Gumshoe. So, hey. Detective Gumshoe, about this right here. Oh, come on. This is kind of important information for you. What do you mean you don't want to look at it? Aha, good. Ah, Mr. Wright! Mr. Delight, did they finish their interrogation? Yes, but please don't leave me alone anymore! Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you? Well, you see. On the same night the sacred urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor department store, a blackmail letter you got summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then, that's where the CEO, Kane Bullard, was murdered. But there's only one Ron Delight, am I right? So the only question is, where were you that night? This time I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it. Okay. Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you were mask to mask? Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating. But listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we? He looks trustworthy. I guess it's true. I wasn't the one who stole that urn. Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time. So then the person dressed up as mask to mask in this photo, it's gotta be Detective Atney. So that night, you didn't go to Lordly Taylor, you went to KB Security, right? Yes, I went to KB Security at the time the blackmail note said I should. Alright, what happened next? Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the key card to unlock the door. It's probably when he dropped his wallet. When I went into the CEO's office, someone was in there. Someone? Then suddenly they bashed me over the head. Bam! Was it Kane Bullard that hit you? I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I'd die myself. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body. So that's why you put it in the safe? Yes, that's right. Why'd you put it in the safe? I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it. Okay, and what did you do after that? Well, I got out of there, for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by them. Nick, all of a sudden, Mr. Delight kind of sounds like the murderer to me. Please don't say that. Why were you fired? And in response to, why did you shove his body in the safe, Neon says, to keep it safe, of course. Obviously. Mr. Delight, is it true that 1 year ago, you were forced to quit KB Security? How did you... I'm begging you, please don't tell Desi, please. Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet. Oh, thank goodness. No, I am... But I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually. Why have you been hiding it from her anyway? Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over.
Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place?
Because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring in enough money. Except being a thief. At least that's what I thought anyway. So it became Master Mask for Desiree, huh? This calling card, did you send this? No, that is, I don't know anything about that. I mean, I had other plans for that night already. That's true, he did get that blackmail letter after all.
What about Detective Atney? Could he be the one that sent it?
It looks that way. I can't think of anyone else. Yeah, that night, because of the letter, I had no choice but to go to KB Security. Wow, this is cool. I'm really into this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's one of our most valuable treasures.
If I ever get out of here, me and Desi will go to Lord Retailer to check out the whole Treasures of Karayan exhibit.
Okay, I guess. Just promise me you won't steal anything, okay?
Oh, don't worry. We'd be going when I'm not on the job as Mask to Mask.
Well, that's reassuring. So, was this blackmail letter written by KB Security CEO Kane Bullard?
I think so. Probably. You can only get into the CEO's office if you have a key card. And the blackmail letter said to me to KB Security.
Guess no one other than Mr. Bullard could have written the letter then.
I was at KB Security at around 1 o'clock that night. I took out my wallet to open the door with the key card. So is that when you dropped it? I'm sorry, I should have told you the truth earlier.
What are you still doing with this key card anyway? Didn't you return it when you left your job at KB Security?
Of course I returned it, don't be silly. But it got sent back to me along with the blackmail letter.
With the blackmail letter?
Yes, it said use this to enter the CEO's office. That's the emergency buzzer from the CEO's office. Don't press it, it makes a terrible racket.
Sorry, I just love making a lot of noise.
Does this buzzer have something to do with this case?
Well, at this point, I don't really know yet.
After all, there were no prints on it or anything else for that matter. This list, we found it in the office of the CEO, Mr. Bullard. Hey, this is a list of all the things Mask to Mask stole. And that's the value of each item listed next to them. $100,000, $150,000.
Are you sure that's the value of the stolen items?
The numbers seem a little low to me. Even on the black market, the prices should be at least 3 times higher than that. I guess he knows about that stuff because he used to be a security guard. Hey, this is an article about my debut heist. Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail.
But Mask to Mask, he must have gone away, right? It says in the article that he disappeared.
That's right! I got a sudden burst of inspiration. I hid my Mask to Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. Then I quickly changed into my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, eh?
Wow, awesome! Hey, hold the phone. Regarding this photo, is this you, Mr. Delight?
That's right! Nice trick if I do say so myself.
Nice and easy to figure out. Even pearls could see through that in a heartbeat.
But as you might expect, Detective Atney found the disguise. He truly deserves the title of Ace Detective.
Detective Atney found the Mask to Mask disguise?
That's interesting. Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him.
So that's it. That's when Atney got his hands on this.
Thanks to that, I got the chance to remake my costume.
That must have been really time-consuming, huh?
Yes, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first of the blackmail letters.
Blackmail letters?
You got them starting when? Tell me more now. Hey, calm down. Don't get so worked up. The buzzer went off just once around the time that Bullard was killed. Ooh, that's scary. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Delight? Sorry, I'm afraid I don't. Why am I not surprised by how clueless he is anymore? This blackmail letter. Is this the first one you got? No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. That first letter, it said, I know you did it. So someone found out about your true identity just like that? It's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof that it was you, so give up, it went on to say. So in the end, I had to give up the treasure I went through all that trouble to steal. Is that right? Hey, hang on a second, what do you mean you had to give it up? Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box the letter specified, someone sent me $10,000. No one said anything about me being worried, you know. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. But plans? So was this blackmail letter written by KB Security CEO Kane Bullard? I think so, probably. I'm ashamed to admit it, but sometimes I wonder if I'm really cut out to be a thief. Well, isn't that obvious? It doesn't suit you at all. I knew it. I guess I'm not the only one who came to that conclusion. Once I decided to become a thief, I started studying like crazy. Studying? Like what? Petty Larceny 101? The history of pilfering? Ha! No, but I watched a lot of movies and read a lot of novels about great thieves. Oh yeah? I admire you for doing your homework if for nothing else. All the great ones have their own trademarks, flashy costumes, calling cards, unique laughs, and catchy slogans like, farewell, my friends. I figured I needed to do a good job with that if I was going to make a splash. Yeah, I guess you really can't say goofy stuff like that unless you're a master thief. Farewell, or we shall meet again, you know, hokey stuff like that. He's an ace detective, all right. He's been hot on my trail ever since the first heist. Yes, but he made a pretty stunning confession in court today. It was me all along. I am Master Mask. I don't know what to say. I guess he's just delusional. That's exactly what your wife said about you. Speaking of, Desi, she really has a thing against criminals. Do you have any idea why that is, Mr. Delight? Well, if you want to know the details, you'll have to ask her. But the thing is, after I lost my job at KB Security, I needed to earn money to keep Desi satisfied. Lots of money. But I just couldn't seem to find a good job. That's why I wound up becoming the thing that Desi hates most, a thief. Mr. Bullard, my old boss, it's so sad. Do you have any idea what might have happened? Was there anyone that might have wanted him dead? Oh yeah, sure. Mr. Bullard was the type of guy who made lots of enemies. He did lots of threatening things to people. Wait, do you mean he scared people or that he threatened them with blackmail? Well, I guess they're kind of the same, right? This seems like a good place to call it for the night, though, since it's a little bit past 10. Well, next week I suppose we'll have to pick up and figure out where to go from here. Good night, and thank you all for coming.